Hello viewers. Welcome back to Recap Daily. The film begins and an old woman is shown telling a story to her granddaughter. She tells many years ago that a woman lives in a city. She works as a product seller and sells things door to door. One day when the seller was returning, she saw a big bungalow in the mirror of her car. Seeing this, the seller thinks of going there, and upon reaching there she gets surprised. Actually, she is surprised to see the view outside the bungalow, as the garden was lovely, because the trees were cut beautifully. Later, the seller goes inside the bungalow. She could not find anyone inside and the whole place was deserted. There were only huge machines, which means the experiments were done here many years ago. The machines were ancient. She was seeing around and then hears someone's voice from upstairs. She moves upstairs while chasing the voice and sees someone sitting in a shadow. The lady calls him and asks him to come in front. That human moves in front of her by walking, but the lady gets scared to see his hands, as he was holding many weapons in his hands, and the lady thinks of leaving, but then he calls her. He says, "Please don't go and stop here." The lady turns and understands those were not any weapons but his hands. They seem like weapons. He held scissors in his hands because he was a robot, not a human. The lady asks his name and he says, "My name is Edward." He tells him, "I am not a human but a robot like humans, but I am not complete," and the lady takes pity on him while hearing this. She feels bad for him, and he was also not looking happy. He was frightened, and the lady notices many scares because of the scissors of his hands. The lady feels bad for Edward, and she doesn't want to leave him alone, so she shows sympathy and takes him with her. Edward was watching the things around while sitting in the car with her, and he was excited and happy. He has come out for the first time from that bungalow into this world. The lady brings him to her home and gives him clothes to wear. Edward couldn't wear the clothes because of the Scissorhands and facing problem. The lady helps him and then introduces him to her family at lunchtime. The lady was treating him like humans, even he is a robot. She gives him human food to eat, and it's obvious he was feeling problem to eat that food. The next day, the lady's husband was cutting the trees. Edward arrives and gives the tree a dinosaur shape with his scissor hands. The lady's husband gets surprised to see this later. Edward makes the structure of the family with his art. He cuts the shape of the family into trees. The family becomes happy to see this, and there was a new guest in that lady's house. When the people around discover this, they come to meet him. They say to the seller, "We discover there is a new guest in your house and he is talented, so we want to meet him at dinner." The lady gets busy to make food for night, and Edward also helps her. He was cutting the vegetables with the help of the scissors easily. Then the lady was trying to open the seal of the box with a machine. Seeing it, Edward sees a flashback in which the bungalow is shown where Edward lived, where the lady went and saw huge machines there. An old scientist is shown who was testing some machines at that time. Those were the machines that made food automatically. Then he goes to a robot and places a heart-shaped cookie on his heart. Here we discover the incomplete robot is none other than Edward. The scientist has made him advanced with the passage of time with a lot of hard work, and then Edward was ready after a lot of hard work. The scientist also puts the human feelings in Edward because he wants to make Edward a complete human. That is why he is called a robot like human. Something was left, that Edward's hands were still like scissors. That is because his task was before to cut trees, salad and vegetables. The scientist was about to place human-like hands to Edward. Soon then the scene shifts to the present, where everyone has come to meet a special guest, Edward. Everyone becomes surprised to see Edward's hands. Even then they want to know him because they were interested in him, so they were behaving nicely. Edward was sleeping in his room at night. Then the lady's daughter arrives, named Kim. She returned after so many days because she went with her friends for enjoying. Now she doesn't know Edward, and Edward also doesn't know anything about her. He was watching her while lying on the bed being frightened. Then Kim sees him while removing makeup. She gets scared to see him and comes out of the room being scared, but her parents relaxed her. Her mother reassures her that she should not be afraid because he is Edward and will live with us. Then her mother makes her meet Edward. The next day, Edward is shown giving nice shapes to the trees in the surroundings by cutting them. Edward has done this because everyone liked him. They behaved nicely, and when he was cutting the tree of his neighbor, a dog comes to him. It has long hair and Edward gives it a nice hairstyle while cutting them. The dog's owner Bayom's happy to see his dog. Then the other neighbors are shown bringing their dogs to Edward for cutting. They want a nice haircut for their dogs. Edward was an expert in it and does it speedily and neatly. He gives a lion's look to a lady's dog and the lady becomes happy to see her dog. She was so happy that she asks Edward, "Will you cut my hair?" Edward does the same and starts cutting her hair, and he cuts her hair nicely. After it, all the females make Edward do their haircut. Even the seller also makes her haircut, who has brought Edward here. Edward was talented, so he gets famous because of his task. Even he was also called to a TV show. Everyone asks Edward to open a salon because he does everything worth appreciating. It is obvious he will need money for opening a salon, so the seller takes Edward to a bank so he will take a loan for a salon. He is denied a loan by the bank because he doesn't have a source of income. He doesn't even have a bank account or doesn't have any ID. This doesn't matter to Edward, as there is no value of money in his life. He just likes a thing and cares about it that is none other than the seller's daughter, Kim. Yes, he likes Kim. Kim also likes him, but her friend was jealous of this, so he makes a plan. He says to Kim, "We will go to meet our parents at night and we will steal my father's van. Then we will go to a separate place there we can spend a lot of time together. My father will get insurance money, and for this, we will need Edward's help because only he can open the lock with his scissor hands." Edward gets ready to go with them as Kim asked him to go. Then they go inside the house opening the lock, but the alarm starts ringing. The shutters of the room in which there was Edward starts shutting automatically. Kim and her companions run from there, but Kim doesn't want to leave and wants to take Edward out. Her friend doesn't let her do this and takes her with him forcefully and says, "We have to leave soon. The police will come here," and he has done this because he was jealous of Edward, and the reason behind is that Kim likes Edward. Meanwhile, the police reach there and hold Edward, but he doesn't tell them that there were Kim and her friends with him. Then, Edward was presented in front of the judge, but he leaves him because Edward was alone for many years and doesn't know the difference between right or wrong. After it, Edward returns to home and Kim thanks him for saving their life while not telling their name. Kim says, "There is my mistake, I should have told you the truth that actually, we are going for a robbery. The house where we went, that is of my friend," and Edward says, "Yes, I know it already." Kim asks, "Really? Did you know it?" and says, "Why don't you say anything even knowing this?" Edward says, "Because you asked me to do this." Likewise, the respect and love for Edward in Kim's heart increases. Then it was the Christmas day and Edward makes a huge and lovely statue of ice for Kim. Edward was sharpening the ice and it starts flying in the air. That was looking lovely. Kim enjoys the flying ice as well, so she begins to enjoy it while standing beneath it. Edward doesn't know that Kim has arrived here because he was busy doing his job completely. Meanwhile, Kim's friend arrives and says, "Hi," in a loud voice. Hearing TH's voice, Edward loses his attention and cuts Kim's hand mistakenly. Kim's mother arrives and she tells her mother Edward has done this mistakenly. Then she takes him inside and bandages her. Kim's friend is shown outside. He misbehaves with Edward and pushes him while saying ill to him. He says, "You are mad and move out from here." Edward was leaving from there being sad and angry. Even he also cuts the clothes with his hands that he was wearing. Now he was in the condition he was before and starts cutting the trees he gave the nice shapes. The neighbors who were Edward's fiend were scared of him after the robbery, and a lady calls the police while seeing this. Kim is shown worried because of her friend's jealousy. She shouts at her friend being furious and breaks her relation with him. Edward was sitting at the corner of the road being worried. Suddenly, a dog arrives and it has long hair, so Edward becomes calm after seeing it, so he returns home leaving everything where Kim was alone. They were out of the house in search of Edward, and Kim becomes happy to see Edward in the house. She asks him to hug her, but Edward says, "No, I can't do this because my hands are of scissors and I can't harm you." Hearing this, Kim goes to him and hugs him. Now, Edward remembers the time when the scientist brought human hands to make him complete human. He had a heart attack before the scientist could repair his hands. Due to it, he died there. That's the reason Edward still has scissor hands. Kim's friend is shown furious. He was drunk and with his friends. He comes to Kim's home in a car with his friends. Here Edward discovers how dangerously Kim's friend is driving. Then he thinks Kim's younger brother is outside the house, so he comes out before Kim's brother gets into an accident because of the car. Edward saves him. They fall aside in order to save him, and Edward's scissors hits Kim's brother's face. His face becomes injured due to it. Kim's brother was screaming. Hearing his voice, Kim's parents and the people in the surroundings arrive. Edward was trying to relax Kim's brother, but everyone was considering that Edward is attacking the kid. Kim's father was also hit by Edward's scissors mistakenly. Then, Kim's friend attacks Edward. Now to save himself, Edward makes Kim's friend injured. Meanwhile, the police arrives. That's why Edward runs from there. Actually, he wants to go back to the bungalow where he lived and came into this world. That wasn't an ordinary bungalow, but it was a world of machines, of robots. Kim knows that Edward has gone there, so she goes to him and finds Edward there, who was sitting depressed. Kim also sits with him. Kim's friend also arrives behind her, and he has a gun with which he shoots at Edward. He also hits Edward, and Kim attacks her friend to save Edward. He slaps Kim and pushes her on it. Edward becomes furious, so he stabs his scissors into him. He falls him down the window. Due to it, he dies. Kim says, "Edward, I also love you," and then she comes out of the house while saying goodbye to him. Here, Kim has the same hand as Edward, and many companions of Kim has arrived at the bungalow. Kim shows them Edward's hand that wasn't of Edward. Kim says, "My friend and Edward have ended each other." After it, they all go back. Then the story comes to the present, where the old lady was telling the story to her granddaughter. Here, the old lady reveals that I am none other than Kim. She claims that she believes Edward will be alive today. As I told you, he isn't a human, but AI means artificial intelligence. His age will increase with the passage of time and will not decrease. Then her granddaughter inquires, "Did you also love him? As he adored you, why you didn't go to meet Edward?" Kim says, "Because I have grown elder. I want Edward to remember or miss me always as he saw me the last time." Her granddaughter wonders how she can say this with such certainty that he will survive. Kim says, "Because there was snow falling when Edward came into this world for the first time. Even today there is snow falling. There would be no snow if Edward was not present." While cutting the ice in the bungalow, Edward is shown making statues that look like angels. He was sharpening the ice. The left ice was falling into the city as it fell many years ago at the Christmas day. There was also a statue of Kim among the statues. This scene concludes this sentimental film. Thank you.